Once more, Fiesta. This time, the SNES version. Just considering that it's engaged in a fair degree of it in the past. But never before in any of the runs that wound up placed on the tubes or on the official roster as administered by the robot. But perhaps this time will be different? Yeah, this will be an opportunity to see all the visuals as they were, hear the soundtrack as it was. Mechanically, there's a few minute differences in a couple of particular things, but nothing particularly world-shattering. All the important load-bearing shenanigans are still there. Or rather, remained there in later versions. They began here. And you'll get to see the fan translation patch that existed for this version, since this is the one that never got a real English release. It's adequate. Fine by the standards of the time. And since this is in a less than wide aspect ratio, I have all of this extra space on either side of the screen. Sort of unformed realm there off on the left and on the right, just no probability space, a realm of potential, a void. Sort of gap in the festivities, which too long has been left unfulfilled. Something has perhaps been missing from previous Fiesta. The charity. Well, I've engaged in the fest for quite some time and found great joy in it and brought great joy to others. Hopefully. Maybe. In the process of conducting it and endorsing it and spreading it about, I keep not engaging in that other important, key, joy-bringing, fundraising side of what this whole event, the spirit of the festive season, is about. The funding for the children by way of the Child's Play. Particularly by way of donation link available at FF4 Fiesta. Or 5 Fiesta. There's no FF4 Fiesta. It's distinctive absence of festivity. In that other half. So, with that in mind, at the end of the season, I am going to put together a little bit of an exhibition event independent of this run. It will be endorsed over the course of this run, its progress tracked over the course of this run, but let me just be sure that that has, in fact, settled into the right spot. These things can always get jumped with a couple. So anyway, at the end of the season, I'm going to put together a little exhibition event, whereby, for each $100 which is pledged in the name of QuickFest, between now and the end of festivities, I will quick leak one portion of the final boss. 5. Quick leaking being an exploitative strategy that is immensely powerful, but immensely time-consuming. By my estimates, if one were to confront the entire final battle of the game, purely by way of quick leaking, it would take at least, with perfect execution, 12 hours. For the children. I will, over the course of this run, sort out which communication channels I should even try to monitor to keep track of if anyone follows through on this. And engage in the necessary preparations of mind and spirit. For now, this run that's getting off to a healthy and conventional start is going to be making use of the new Pure Chaos mode. Doing this year. Right. Have to clear the space. So for this Pure Chaos run, at each crystal I can be dealt any job at all from any point in the game. However, at no time will I be given a duplicate of a previous job. This allows many possibilities. Time will tell which ones are brought before us. Sure makes a lot of noise for a box of bird feather. As the usual introductory rituals go. Shifting over to the SNES version also removes the temptation. Having the fast forward button just sitting right there on the shoulder of the controller. We're in no rush. Interesting to see the different formatting that's used with the larger text box available. They're keeping more content in there, they're having multiple speakers in individual text boxes at times. Not having the space taken up by portraits. You know, after some runs of the GBA version, just coming back to the greater screen real estate that's available, this aspect ratio, it's kind of immediately refreshing. Suddenly there's just all this extra room. Comfortable, spacious Fiesta. Big part of that extra space that gets gained, you'll see often, is the backgrounds of all the fights. The substantial margin off the top of them that gets cut off of the GBA versions of all the fight backgrounds. A lot of nice visual in there. On the other hand, all the extra space kind of emphasizes how tiny the characters are. Part of this being the kind of weird transitional fossil between 4 and 6. For this one, they started doing a lot more with the backgrounds and the environments in terms of like if you go back and look at 4, everything is still very kind of firmly squared off and grid-like, and looks like a lot of the assets that you would have seen in one of the NES games scaled up and with more color depth. Here they start trying a lot more with like texture and shape and all sorts of other things with the background art assets. But then character sprites are still very tiny. Then when they got around to 6, they doubled up the size of the character sprites, and then they had a lot more space to work with. The fearsome Duros. The Pirate Cave. Look forward to some name choices over the course of the SNES version. Nowhere near on the same tier as the naming in the PSX one, but still a few interesting decisions on the part of the bandwidth sliders. Drawback of switching over to this version, no more innate dashing. It's purely a thief class feature. Still, even with reduced regular movement speed, you get to appreciate that most of the dungeons in this aren't actually particularly large. And throughout much of the game, when you don't feel like fighting, evading fights is particularly easy. Even at slow speed, it doesn't take long to traverse areas. Especially since dashing doesn't change encounter frequency. The added time that you spend is all time that you spend walking around. Enjoy the ambiance. Also look forward to having many objects be a little vague as to what they might be when collected. All those little equipment symbol things, I guess, are starred differently than the regular text is. For whatever reason, they are often omitted. Or it's just a matter of character limits involved, I mean that they don't have space to include sort of description alongside the text. We'll find only leather. No idea as to whether it is hat or shirt shaped. Or feeling especially spicy, I'd be avoiding levels right now. In preparation for other possible shenanigans. That's not particularly necessary. And you need levels eventually. Trying to go about conducting a deliberate low-level run is more the kind of thing you do when you have open access to the job system. Yeah, while the fan patch lacks the personality that either of the other versions have. Competently executed. All the dialogue is there, and that's a cool. I go about rubbing up against more incidental scenes and prodding bits of dialogue. Of course, this run just to remind myself the quality of the patch. Yeah, we'll head directly to the shrine and conduct all town-related business afterwards. As it is a temp fiesta, there's no particular reason to delay getting right at first job, at first convenience. Each of these teams is a warm-up lap that I did during the month leading up to last year's fest. Farewell, bro. Also, all throughout this run, my thumb is going to keep reaching for start whenever I'm trying to get into the menu. This is a version that has 2 more buttons to work with. Slightly different interface, bound to interfere with all that pointlessly overtuned muscle memory. Sort of appreciate the tone set by putting the names of all the items that you find quote marks. Appreciate it's probably the wrong term, but enjoy. Just kind of smirk at. But yes, we found a tent. Interesting thing I've learned here, this little explanation that plays when you step onto this save point is not actually attached to this point. It will trigger the first time that you walk onto any save point anywhere in the game. If you ignore that one, you can instead have it show up later. Someone could, potentially, if they were just deliberately avoiding all of the regular save points all throughout, be up to their neck in the void, step into a shiny circle, and then just be like, oh, hey, new player, here's a thing you might not have. Pro tip, waiting for you. In case you'd been avoiding all of these pleasant glowing rings up until now, there's a thing they do. Word to the wise. Discreet pause after picking up some kind of object or interacting with anything at all is going to be a moment where I reach briefly for the wrong button. Yeah, in the GBA version, all these fight screens would just kind of stop at around the top of Quick there. Just a little higher than him, just a message box width above his head. So everything past there is additional whoop. You've done a foolish thing. Thing above there, that's an extra art asset that had to be trimmed out of the GBA version. I wonder if the data might still be in there. Just being edged out, or if it removed the information entirely. Yeah, Bird, just because you can't see us, it doesn't mean we don't exist. It doesn't make us not see you, Bird. Probably fill that other margin over on the right with helpful explanatory text. Settle on exactly how one should communicate if they have chosen to pledge support to the children, to enable poor decision making. Perhaps assert some manner of tag with which to bird noise on the subject. Already placed effort well in excess of usual into building that progress bar over there. Smithing up another appropriate space-filling graphic to hold that other information, and deciding what it should even be, that's a whole other leg of efforts. But anyway, a king's been dragged off by the essence of the void, and we are left in the presence of 6 shiny crystal shards. And for the beginnings, this pure chaos run. The robot has been appropriately dull and handed me not only a wind job, but a good wind job, with which to kick things off. Actually, let's leave everyone as they are. Or setting anybody else up. I want to see how they translated the tutorial job system. Let's call forth the talk bird. Quack quack, good friend. For the most part, I feel the translators did a good job at deciding names to put on abilities. Thanks, Bird. Anyway, our first class is Blue Mage. Gotta catch 'em all. Blue, entirely good and fine, solid class. And why am I wandering away from the shrine? I have a thing to collect from it. We're going right back in there to be breathed on. Blue, well, not enough to declare full victory right away. It'll certainly carry you through the entirety of the regular game. Not you. You get out of here, you aren't called for. I want anything else that appears in this building. Yeah, like you. Get the snake out of the way. Ow, the waiting. Go on, buddy. Gunch me. There we go. That's proper. Goblin Punch. Classic blue magic. Behaves largely identically to an ordinary physical attack. However, if your level is the same as your target's level, it does 8 times normal damage. I think also ignores defense in that math. If you then engage in appropriate mathematic level manipulating shenanigans, you can absolutely demolish some things. And you, our other candidate. Hello. And since Gunching, which is stored way the hell down here in the blue magic list, since it consults the attack power of your weapon without actually swinging your weapon, you can use that for some shenanigans related to using equipment but bypassing any scripts attached to it. Come on, Mold. You know I'm here. Appreciate it. First death of Ferris, the Fiesta is properly christened. Yeah, these fellows are also here. I almost never encounter them because they're just in this room when you pass by. Way to the crystal. You usually won't pop an encounter in there. Yeah, blue magic as a whole, it's a powerful tool set that you need to put a bit of legwork into assembling, and then the blue mage itself is a quite decent chassis for conducting adventuring in general. They have access to knives, swords, shields, medium armor. That covers most of the bases for all the best stuff that you would want to be swinging around on people. And before I head back to town, one last item on the safari list. There are 3 blue spells to get right off the bat as you enter the game, and all of them are quite good. Yeah, we have Gunch already explained there. It's just a generally useful, not astounding ability, but, you know, it has a niche, it has a place. Arrow, we have a level 1 attack spell, an element that most classes don't get access to, and the promise of the other 2 levels of it to come. And our third wheel will be showing up in this cave. You and your terrible garbage knife will have to replace that as soon as possible. You who possess the least of all knives. Evade things that aren't the target. You were the targets. Have at me. You did damage. damage you guys first to clear the way, or will you attempt the move regardless? That'll do, probably. Yes, Bloodsuck attained. So, that's our third immediately available blue spell, and it's one that's fairly useful. Slightly less so in this version than in the others, but still quite relevant. What it does is it deals damage equal to the amount of health your character is missing, and then in this version you recover half of that number. Where, at least in the GBA version, you recover all of that number. So you have a move to deal damage while also getting a bit of recovery in. And also a thing to bust out in response to getting, like, put into critical HP. Yes, it is like the revenge move, but also a recovery move. Bird, how did you do this to yourself? And trust his care to you, pirate wizard. Just don't let him get used to sleeping in human beds. That way lies madness. Kingbird belongs on the ground. I apologize if I've been undesirably quiet during many of the stretches of this early session, but I am genuinely appreciating hearing this NES version of all the tracks again. They're more bassy, more deep. They have kind of almost extra channels as far as much more stuff seems to be in play in them. Distinctive instrument selection. Nice. Good to know that you can still phase through that man, and presumably many other people in motion. Appropriately timed conversation. Man, sure is strange I knew all these things were here. Must be my beginner's luck. I completely unversed in the arts of these place. That leather was a shoe. Although you wouldn't know from just seeing the accessory slot. Leather, other object. Leather bauble. Oh yeah, that reminds another thing about the gunch is that it ignores your ignores a browser, and so although it's a bit cumbersome to do it in the menu, you have access to full physical damage while back road. No need to swing a sword when you just gunch. Greatly extends your reach. Oh, they're also rod users, so I can snap rods on things as well when necessary. Blue is just an amazingly versatile class. Quite possibly one of the best ones you can be handed for your wind crystal job in a general purpose fest. Getting black or white out of the gate also similarly powerful throughout the game. Well, white lacks offensive power at the start. Oh, they actually mention that gimmick of the canal. Straightforward of them. Yeah, the fan patch predates a lot of the conventions that would later settle in about naming unofficial English releases of these. Leaning towards the older NES and SNES, and I think a lot of that naming convention carried on into 7 as well. Until we're certain that the team does not contain a bard, there's no reason not to harvest pianos. Even after knowing we don't have a bard, you could just learn an instrument anyway. Even if you can't weaponize it, it's still just a wonderful skill to have in life. Great music. There are all sorts of incidental scenes that I usually just wander right past in the process of conducting Fest. I'll try to drag more of them into the field for this run. Although mentioning it now, I think there's one if you sail up to the canal immediately, you'll at least hear a little bit of dialogue of, huh, it's locked, what do we do? Briefly seen during that dialogue, this version, waltz, is walrus. It only takes a little bit of squinting to see how one can bleed into the other. Phonemes and such. If anything happens to me, don't tell anyone about why I'm here. That way no one will see it coming. The less everyone here knows about the super wizard locked beneath the center of the earth, the better. Yeah, Zoc, what were you considering that you might not give us the key? Were you gonna just let us kind of languish here? The whole adventure on hold? That's another quality of life thing that's missing. No shoulder buttons to quickly switch between the equip screens. Confirm lets you cycle through everybody's status menu. No shoulder swap. A lot of the dialogue in this version becomes relatively dry and straightforward, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Effective. It's reasonable. Very cleanly presented. When you compare that against other fan translations where their authors start trying to take liberties and believe themselves to be more clever than they are, I appreciate the simplicity, the humility, the more direct handling of the script. Kind of lives in this very nice middle ground where it's not someone trying to be Woolsey and injecting a bunch of new flavor made of whole cloth, but also not living on, like, the other extreme side of trying to make some sort of stale, awkward, overly literal, exact transcription of the glorious original text. Just competent. The whole single quote mark thing is weird. Spacing on these ellipses, what? Is the silence getting faster? Is that how you depict in text someone staring at you and slowly leaning forward? Old Bander S. Yeah, I wasn't about to leave this area without checking on the Bandersnatch. My voluminous friend. A good friend, Mr. Banders. There, we've now learned to peep. Well, some of us have. 3 out of 4 peep-capable wizards. It's just their light scan ability, and let's... Yeah, cursor memory. I'll leave optimal equip on for now, and... Yeah, color scheme. Get nicely festive. It's one of the ones that allowed multiplayer, in the sense of having input accepted from multiple controllers. Co-op single-player JRPG, that was a thing that was tried. I'd also try the non-linear, the four-directional thing. Sure, let's do that. A weird experimental thing that was done for this generation. Okay, here's this alternate interface that exists that is faster if you are already acquainted with it. Each command is in a direction. Direction, get thing you want to do. Just in case you needed high-speed precision execution of best of moves. Ferris, please. Making us look bad in front of the Octaraken. Ferris! Alright, hold on. We're going back to town. We have to toughen you up. I'm not burning all of my Fenix down to get you through the Octarakens in one piece. That would be wasteful. Level 5 should be good for the canal. To bypass these Rakens. You could just run from all the regular fights in here. Answer strike first, which I turned down. Still should defeat at least one of them, just to get Ferris that job level. Yeah, the one leading quote mark is weird. It's usually used to signify when Quick is talking. It's strange that they didn't drop the name in as a variable. Although, given that all the other characters' names, when they appear in text, are just written in rather than being variables that dynamically fill with the appropriate string, maybe there's a weird corner they cut under the hood. For no particular reason, because they had renameable characters who were mentioned in dialogue. Here's Carlabos. Can we gonna beep at him? Yeah, 650 health. Very manageable. This team won't have to do anything tricky or special to deal with him. You just beat him down. I think the wind will be hitting slightly harder than just swords right now. Yeah, slightly. And naturally, Bloodsuck in response to Tailscrew. That's certainly a string of words. Stacks up as an attack method, as long as you're at critical health. Also, I was mistaken in describing it earlier. It does and recovers the same amount of damage, which is half of your missing health. Issue a formal apology to any who were harmed by our misidentification of a mechanic of Final Fantasy V. Extra space on screen. This makes all the sprites seem so tiny. Suppose it's compliments to the people who worked on the GPA board that they were able to very consistently focus in on the most important part of a scene and keep that important part of the scene in frame. Whatever this is, he says after it's been explained to him, pretty straightforwardly. We're in a ship graveyard, in English! I don't have time for your nautical mumbo-jumbo. Just in case. Actually, on okay, not a staff user. That's like white and time use staves? Naturally, at no time should one attempt to consume the undead. Skeleton meat is just not good for digestion, in the slightest. Multi-target damage. How I missed you. Having the choice between physical and magical damage. Hard cursors. Certainly a rendition of a word. Wait, actually, if I'm going to be attempting shenanigans at things as well, because there's a few shenanigans that fit comfortably into the progression. One of which I would have had to plan for well in advance of this. That's already off the table. But the one after it, that's usually fairly natural to hit, I'll definitely be collecting. I will hit at least one gunch target over the course of this run. The one I plan for, and then who knows how many others may just fall into place on their own. I did not know there were holes in that floor. Pitfalls appearing this early as a mechanic. Excellent timing on the part of my loudest neighbor, God. Ominous rumblings that actually aren't all that ominous at all. This is part of the ordinary summer weather cycle. If anything, what was ominous is how long it took to get to this rumbling. You get your hot day, you get your humid day, then you get your thunderstorm, then you get your pleasant day. Cycle resumes. I've never been one to let the world map wander. It has a home here. It's of use. Psycho Head over there is a pretty fine name for an enemy. Our target level for the one planned gunching I intend to execute is 8. Is the Rusk dead? Let's find out. It is. Farewell. I suppose it's right there in the name, but there are other versions of that creature that don't say it's dead. Well, really, all lumber is dead, so who knows? The gel might not be dead. Let's taste the gel. The gel is also dead. Everything is dead. It's the ship's graveyard, home of many dead things. Gelatin is also dead. Then there are things that people would call gel that are more alive. More slime than gel. Slime is living, gel is dead. Then again, ordinary food is also dead. Generally. Oh, that's another element of the interface, in quick select mode here. Defend and row switch are on the shoulder buttons instead of being pressing to the side of the menu, since pressing to the side of the menu is functions. Serve a purpose. Sort of blocking out what should be used to fill the right margin there. Very important to effectively make use of the space. Get the right information density. Yeah, Fest logo, charity logo. Tag would be used to identify contributions as they occur. You're all getting early access to the prototype. Behind-the-scenes view of the process. And other times the quote mark just indicates somebody is talking. I guess different from whoever else was talking. It's a weird convention. Yeah, get like the fundamentals of logos down. Hashtag for identifying. Appropriately succinct summary of what the deal is. That should occupy the space appropriately. Here's Siren! Siren has fast herself. Yeah, this is gonna be an event. Well, not particularly, since I have all the relevant tools to rush down Siren. And she is the boss that, in order to conduct a gungeon, you would need to have planned out well in advance, because she is actually level 2 on paper. You would have to deliberately leave a character completely unexped. Fortunately, we can just breathe. That should do all of the necessary lifting. Warriors of Light, filled with boundless festive spirit. You know, you had your souls torn out briefly by some sort of horrid demonic creature, but you're fine. It's all good. Laugh it off. Live it up. Under no circumstances should one underestimate air. It is a truly fearsome weapon. Everything just also... Town of Carbon, by the way. Everything just also has more space on this version of the interface. To the point that it almost looks sparse when you think about it next to the GBA version. It's the same amount of information, just a little more spread out. Everything has a little bit of room to just sort of flex and breathe. You can relax. Nice. Yeah, that's basically music. There's just nobody in this room. Weird. Nice. Right, these are slightly different swords. Larger numbers for all. Ongoing joy of the equipment treadmill. I won't get too particular about iterating through such things. It's no big deal. Especially when I'm still intending to snag at least 2 more levels for gunching purposes on the mountain. There will be cash for all. Learning. Further north for Blue Magi. Blue Mage does not have any of the tool set for fabulous prizes. Outside of good general survivability stuff you'd be able to bring along, like you could get White Wind before attempting fabulous prizes. It is telling that one of the things Blue Mage cannot do is the thing everyone agrees should not be done. Tries to warn you. that name. Appropriate. Acceptable. Alright, here we are. Blocks. Another point of interest of the Wizard Safari. So they can do that. They could do that if they had mana. Now one has mana. Very good. This is one of the few ways the player can blind things. And blinding is powerful stuff. Sleep off blindness. Like back over here for that guild counter there. That is a weird little interface element. Alright, just need to fight enough things to produce one additional level between here and Mountain Boss. Easily done. Let us all learn to learn. Blue Mage just has everything an adventurer needs. Damage, recovery, action, status effects, mask, cape, shoulder pads. One-fourth of a feathered hat. Truly perfect. Have math. Math, you can have anything. The ritual is complete. Lunch is ready. We have no quarrel with any other creature on this mountain. We are at peace. Yeah, just go ahead and do it first, sort of the inventory. Start to get it vaguely appropriately shaped. Crap indeed, magician. Because you will fall victim to math. Divisible by the fist. Yes, with that or any other appropriate way to drop a remarkable degree of burst damage, you can just skip Forza. All you miss out on is the beverage that he would drop as loot. No big deal. It's just a beverage. You wouldn't even be able to use it for ages. Once bitten, twice gaunt. You could get encounters on this screen? You could fight cockatrices right here? Such a meaty sound for the poison flower. With what we have for our team right now, there's no reason to raid Tycoon or Lynx. We'll just keep on moving forward. Head on down to Warus. Beautiful place, Warus. Glasses. Forest home of exceptionally pretty water. A harmless baby gorilla. Friend to all creatures, gorilla. The other reason not to be too worried about equipment treadmill at the point where I was at was that these bits go by pretty quickly and equally quickly subject you to a rapid series of equipment changes. Here, you get to be ahead of the curve on shields now. Enjoy! This first series of towns during the initial Light of the Crystals kind of act like there's more content between them. They have. I confront the basement. Oh, Garkamasa. Garkamasra. One party member spent to get to the Elf Cape, which I should have put on immediately after retrieving it. Two party members spent leaving the Elf Cave. And we're good. Basement effectively challenged. Now just duck outside, hit the inn. There's more safari to do in the back room, and then we move on. So long since I visited Shiva. Sure which way to the outer wall. So few books. Out here. We needn't be here long. Just visit. Select a single toad. Only one is called for. The elf toad is a bashful creature. Traveling in groups, they restrict themselves to silence. Only in solitude do they reveal the beauty of their song. Majestic. Now we must see the king. I'd love to shut down the crystal machine, but this is an election year! Simple political realities in Walrus. Gotta be tough on crime, you gotta amplify the power of water. A crisis emerges. Chosen frog, away! And I don't have to fight anything in Walrus Tower, so... I can just kind of carry this through all the way. The great recalled mages. Great wyvern. Pot Azul, then could be. Silk Robe. Competitive with the martial arts outfits. Interesting. Nice that a lot of places have low enough encounter rates to let the music sink in. Give you appreciation of the ambiance. You have your choice of silver or leather. Accessorize however you like. Now this soldier, he's not from here. How does he know who Garula is? I suppose they have Garule in the other world as well. They have the new Garula. We're stuck with last year's model. Oh, no, you don't. There is no escape from the music. See, Garula is a harmless, friendly creature. Behavior is entirely unprecedented, and surely temporary. He's just frightened, confused. The peaceful serenade of the elf toad will surely restore order. Only struggle for so long. As the stronger, wiser creatures, we have the responsibility to show restraint. The Garula's instincts will cause him to lash out senselessly. We can rise above such drives and take the high road. Oh, it is done. Now we commune with nature. As amphibians, this is how we communicate. Not enough to simply suppress violence, it must be understood. Defeat the frog mammoth, one must become the frog mammoth. that aspect of the script overrides the froggishness. Fascinating. Well then, the time for games is over. Now release the Frog of War. Garula had his chance to negotiate. Diplomacy has failed. Violence is all it understands. Although now it's blind. Halfway there. Frogs, take cover. Assume crash positions while we disarm this mammoth. Remember when we filed the report. 2 tons, razor sharp tusks. Powerful wizard. Escorted by an army of other equally powerful mammoths. You chose this path, Garula. I understand now. Yours is the way of the warrior. As it should be. As it must be. Kill or be killed. Ascend as it began. It should be. Victory.